Hi, I'm Christy. I want to talk to you today about how emotions on family members are impacted by special needs. Last week, or in the last video, we talked about how many people with special needs don't process their emotions in a typical manner and how that can lead to a lot of frustration and meltdowns, sometimes for everybody involved. But then that begs the question, so how are the emotions of other family members impacted? So that's what I want to talk about in this video. So first, let's talk about parents and caregivers. They definitely have an increased emotional issues here. There was an article from the Peabody College. You can find a link to it specifically at my blog at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This post originally posted in April of 2018. The article has this quote in it. The parents of children with disabilities often describe their lives as emotional roller coasters, roller coasters as they face the ups and downs of raising a child with special needs, end quote. The article is from an educator's perspective, but it does explain many of the emotions and struggles that parents of a special needs child deal with. And at the end, it includes some resources. I hope you find them helpful. There's another article at Enable Special Needs Planning. This article talks specifically about 3 emotions that parents feel when they look into like estate planning: overwhelm, frustration, and confusion. So specifically when you're doing planning, these emotions describe what many aspects of caring for someone with special needs is like. If we switch over to the siblings, they also have a lot of the same emotions to deal with. PsychiatryAdvisor.com has an article that deals specifically with siblings. And they have a couple quotes from Don Meyer, who's the director of the Sibling Support Project. Again, you can find links to these on my blog. Mr. Meyer has this to say, quote, "Siblings are too important to ignore because no one logs more hours and minutes with special needs children than their brothers and sisters, with the exception of parents, usually the mother," end quote. He goes on to say that, quote, "Moreover, siblings will be in the lives of the disabled family member longer than anyone, including service providers and parents, a relationship often in excess of 65 to 70 years, end quote. So as I mentioned before, siblings have a lot of similar emotions to parents and caregivers. However, this is complicated a lot of times because they don't have all the information that the parents and caregivers have, because the parents don't want to burden them with things that really aren't their issues. The problem is children's imaginations tend to run wild, and sometimes they come to false or inaccurate conclusions. This article does do a good job of covering some of the emotions and concerns that siblings have. It's really well written, and it's worth the time to read through it. There's another really brief article from the American Advocacy Group that touches many of the same emotions as this other article. Again, it has some good, helpful information, and it also provides some solutions for each emotion that they mention and address. So as I end this, my question for you is this: how have emotions affected your family? What emotions have you had to address specifically? Are these articles confirming what you find in your family? I would love for you to leave me a comment here below, or you can leave me a comment with your experiences on my blog. Again, that's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This post originally posted in April of 2018. So regardless of the struggles that you've been, I hope that we can all agree that life is good and there is never a dull moment.